What's up, everybody? Welcome to Bios3 Raw TV. It's late here in Virginia. It's about 11:30 at night. Well, late for some people, not that late for me. Aaron's already in bed, and I'm going through my comments. I'm going through some of my emails, and I get this question over and over again from people, more so in emails than comments. And I think it's because they haven't watched the channel for the whole 4 years, or 2012, yeah, so about 4 years that it's been on. And they don't know my story. So they ask questions about specifically heroin, opiates, and Suboxone, and what it's like to be on these things. I think that some people, I see them jump in the comment section, are actually in that situation themselves. And some people are just curious to be like, what is it like? What is it like to be a heroin addict? And, I had one person say, wow, I can't imagine someone being so smart, meaning me now, and so intelligent, which trust me, I'm not the brightest bulb on the tree. But someone so isn't, kind of with it now, who could be so fucked up then. And really doesn't have to do with intelligence or smarts. It has to do with bad decisions, which doesn't mean that you're dumb. It just means you make some bad decisions. And once you start making those bad decisions with drugs, it can fucking go sideways real quick. So this video is to those people that want to know more about opiate abuse, getting clean, and what it's like. Now, with a backtrack, so if some of you actually know the story, and some of you will learn it now. When I was a teenager, I began actually drinking at age, by the time I was 12, I was actually playing in bars already in a band. I was actually in like a garage band that played in bars at 12 years old. Turning my 12th to 13th birthday, on my birthday, I played in a bar. So I was actually drinking at 12 years old already at my friend's house. His mom would buy beer and Jack Daniels and shit, and we would drink it. So that led to starting marijuana, which really wasn't a big deal. Marijuana never really did anything for me, so I didn't, have any kind of issues with that. It wasn't a big deal. It probably wasn't until I graduated high school. I went to school in Fort Lauderdale at the Art Institute. When I came home from there, I quit school and I wanted to go home, and I wanted to be a bodybuilder. That's what I wanted to be, a personal trainer and a bodybuilder. That was my goal at 17 years old. I went to college when I was 17. I took a few of my dad's Vicodin out of his bottle that was on the counter, because I'd heard mixing pills with booze gave you a good, good buzz. So I took those and I went to Hooters with my buddy Henry. I remember it like it was yesterday. Took 2 of the Vicodin, which was like 10 milligrams. It made my stomach feel weird. I felt like it felt gross. It didn't feel good. We were eating at Hooters, and I wasn't 21 yet, so I don't remember how we got beer. I think I was drinking the beer on the way there. I just felt kind of fucked up, and it wasn't the greatest thing in the world. Now, fast forward probably a couple years. It wasn't until, so that's 17, so that's 18 years old. 19, I was still a natural bodybuilder. I wasn't messing with drugs. I wasn't even drinking at that point. 20, same thing. I wasn't messing with drugs. I wasn't drinking. 21 is when I hit gear. I decided to hit gear. I blew up, and I started to be a bouncer at the nightclub. So that was where everything kind of really started there. I would take a couple pills, whatever the case may be, drink a few beers, and it kind of, progressed from there a little bit. And it really never got out of control until I started Nubane. A friend of mine gave me a shot of Nubane, which is a opiate-based, morphine-like drug that they give to pregnant women. So I figured, everybody was like, well, if they give it to pregnant women, it's safe for us to take. Little did we know that it hooks you in like the first couple of days, and basically you'll go through withdrawals. The Nubane led to more Vicodin, which is more expensive, which led to Oxycontin, which was something new at the time. The Oxycontin and Vicodin, Nubane completely dried up very quickly because that was kind of like a specialty thing that bodybuilders were using. Went on to heroin eventually. It went from pills to heroin. Now, pills are the gateway to heroin. There's no doubt about it. And that progressed, I wouldn't say very quickly. I mean, it took a little while. I was still 100% functioning, working, going to the gym and training. I was still like 230, 235 pounds, eating all my meals. I was working with my girlfriend at the time. We were both working jobs. So we had enough money to buy the heroin, because it wasn't a huge dose of it, and still have money for food and electricity and stuff like that. So it never got to the point of us being super poor, like getting kicked out and living somewhere on the streets or anything like that. And it progressed, and it progressed, and it progressed until the bank account was getting lower and lower and lower. And the only thing I can say about a heroin addict's life is, if you've ever seen the movie Groundhog Day with Bill Murray, and if you haven't seen it, go watch it, because that's what your life's like. You wake up in the morning, and you already feel the withdrawals. They're starting to happen. You feel like shit already. You feel clammy. You know the pain is coming if you've ever felt withdrawals. Your first thing to do is get up in the morning, call your dealer, and get to his house. Now, my dealer, he'd like to get out of bed at like 9 o'clock. Shit, I was up at 5:30, 6 o'clock already starting withdrawal. So you sit around for like 3 hours. The sweats come, the stomach cramps come, and you're talking to your girlfriend, you're watching her go through it, you're going through it, and you just feel like shit till he's awake. Drive to his house, buy the heroin. And for some reason, you always buy a certain amount, because if you buy too much, you'll just do it all in the same amount of time. So you buy enough to get you through 5 or 6 hours, whatever the case may be. You go home, do your shots. Usually go back to bed. Wake up, do another shot, start your day. Go to the gym, come home from the gym, do another shot. Okay, these are all cooking it on the spoon, sucking it up, fucking injecting it. Leave there, go to work. After you take that shot, come home from work, you're already in withdrawal because you've been working like 7-8 hours. Do another shot. Hopefully you have enough that'll last you through the night so you can sleep 4 or 5 hours or something like that. If not, you gotta call your dealer, see if he's awake. Hopefully he's not too pissed at you. If you wake him up, you go buy more, just so you can get to sleep. Because if you're not on the opiates, you can't sleep. You're wide awake, you're hurting, you're sweating, you're fucking throwing up, you're cramping. And then you finally get to sleep. You're like, oh, finally, the day is over. It was such a fucking ball buster of a day, fucking running around, getting drugs. And the fucking alarm goes off in the morning, or sometimes it doesn't even go off. And next thing you know, you're off and running against the same fucking thing, except you get sick faster. And the sickness, it's not like the flu. Everybody likes to say it's like flu-like symptoms. Fuck the flu. I would take the flu 1,000,000 times a day, any day. And the only thing that really keeps me from relapsing again, or I never relapsed ever, but relapsing, going back to drugs again, is the feeling of that withdrawal and having it again. That's the one thing that stops me. And, you know, eventually it gets to the point where you have two choices. You're going to either get locked up or you're going to die. That's what's going to happen. You're going to run out of money, steal, you know, whatever the case may be, or you're going to overdose. You're going to take some stuff that somebody gave you that's way high potency shit. You're going to whack that and you're going to drop dead. That's where you wind up. And I understood if I didn't do the drugs, I wouldn't do them anymore. I knew there was a reason why I was doing them. I didn't know what the reason was, but I knew I didn't want to live like that anymore. I didn't want to be high anymore. I wanted to be clear. I wanted to be just focused. I wanted to understand, you know, I guess it was, you know, I was getting more mature as time was going along. So I had talked to my girlfriend at the time. I said, we gotta get clean. I can't do this anymore. She said she wasn't ready, which I'd been with her for 7 years. So at that point, we've been through everything together. You have to cut ties with someone that's dragging you down. I had to leave her, go into rehab, and I walked into rehab at about 230 pounds, clean shaven, big, my hair was done. I walked in, I guess I had hair back then, and they looked at me and they were like, what are you here for? I said, I'm on heroin. You know, addicted to heroin, I need to get in the program. And they just kind of looked at me, took my blood pressure, I filled out a form. I wanted to see the doctor, and the doctor's looking at me. I'm sitting on the thing, and you know, my head is, you know, low. I'm just starting to withdraw and stuff. And he's like, "Yeah, how do you couldn't understand how I was functioning so highly, you know, and still being addicted to heroin and going through what I was going through." And they drew my blood. They tested the blood. The morphine levels were through the fucking roof. Started me on the methadone program. So I'm on this video there where I started the methadone program, and we'll continue on like another part of this because it's already up to 7 or 8 minutes, which most people are not going to watch past this anyways. And it seems like you guys really want to know this. So we'll continue with part 2 right now on Bios3, and I approve this message, and we're